Snatches of sleep breed nightmares, and the dawn finds me weak and weary, like the guy in Lenore Dove's poem. The arena leaves no time to properly grieve anyone, and I'm left feeling cheated, shallow and cold-hearted. Luella, Ampert, Maisley, everyone deserves far better, I just can't generate it. I check on Welly, who sleeps peacefully on her branch. No need to wake her yet. Silk has gone, not that I expected some grand alliance forming between us. She had a vulnerable moment, accepted the chocolate, and then probably felt ashamed for doing so. So I'm guessing District 1 doesn't reward its carers, its careers for being only human. Yeah, Silk is out there, and likely nearby unless she's scavenging for food. She could have thought to try the cornucopia or gone back for Marie's supplies, but she knows where we are, and she'll be back to kill us. I reach up over my tarp to rub the gunk from my eyes, and I notice black smudges on my fingers. I'm not sure where those came from. I didn't really register in the dark last night. I don't think it's tree bark, though, or the tarp. Something with a potato battery? It doesn't really matter, unless... Suddenly, a whole bunch of light bulbs turn on at once. Me working the copper flower medallion out of Maisley's necklace. Working the black residue on my hands after I rigged the fuse at the tank. BT's final words to me at the buffet. And if Ampert fails to show, we've also replaced the... But then Welly had walked up, and I never learned what else. Besides, the District 9 tokens had been replaced. A spare. I back up to Ampert's lone fuse. Is that what I have around my neck in the guise of Maisley's token necklace? Pretending to focus on my sunrise, I nonchalantly rub a bit of the braided cord between my thumb and index finger. Then casually fiddle with the water jug lid. No question. The smudges come from her token. One last chance. One final opportunity to ruin the games in a way the capital can't conceal. I can't be 100% sure until I unwind the cord and check for the blasting cap. But if I'm right, I must not waste this goodbye gift. I lean back against the truck, trying to look indifferent, while my mind races. What possible targets remain? The tank's blown, the generator's off limits, access to sub A will be hard to finagle a second time. That leaves the cornucopia. And why not? Isn't it the very symbol of this despicable show? And isn't the gesture left for me purely symbolic, given that the machinery lies beyond my grasp? I could still blow a nice big hole in the side of their nice, shiny golden horn. Leave it smouldering and defaced in the centre of their pretty little meadow. A twisted and ugly reminder of the history of the Hunger Games. A horn of plenty for the few, desperation for many, destruction for all. Once again, the trick will be to get them to show it on screen, but with only 3 of us left, it might just be possible. I could revive Welly a bit more, get enough calories in her that I'd be sure she could last, and then tuck her somewhere safe. I could stage a showdown with Silka at the cornucopia. Try and take her out and the cornucopia in the same explosion. If we were directly beside it, how could they not show it? And then, if I survive, Snow will have the game makers kill me, and Welly will get the crown. A peek of her haggard little face gives me pause. Welly's on the brink of starving to death. Even if she can hang on, the lack of food leaves her vulnerable to a host of other dangers, from physical weakness to dehydration to illness. We've got some chocolate left, but dumping that straight into her shrunken stomach might result in the reverse of the intended effect. There's the last potato. It's good and bland, but it needs baking. Alright, that's my priority. Bake the potato, feed up Welly, hide Welly, lure Silka to the cornucopia, blow her up with the cornucopia. How could anything go wrong? Well, here's a problem for starters. After the tank incident, if the game makers see me unwinding a token, I'm going to have every mutt in the arena coming at my head. I need an off-camera moment. No time like the present. As if blocking the sun, I pull the top over my head. With minimal movements, I unclasp Maisley's necklace and unravel the cord. I get a boost when I expose the blasting cap, securely attached at the end. Perhaps I'm not entirely hopeless. After wrapping the fuse tightly around it, I conceal it in my pocket and rub my hands really good on my pants to get clean. When the game makers notice the token's disappearance. When Willie wakes, maybe I should pretend I lost it. It could have gone the way of the brass medallion. Then again, drawing attention to its absence might backfire. I do inventory of my equipment. Fuse, check. Blasting cap, check. Explosive, check. Flint striker, check. I've got everything I need, even a handful of oily candy wrappers for Tinder. Eager to get going, I toss off the tarp, give a big stretch, and free myself from the tarp strips. Ellie's eyes. Wellie's eyes fly open. She takes me in as if weighing my worth, then frowns. Don't leave me again, she whispers. No doubt I am, from where she sits, the great abandoner of the newcomers. She's not wrong. I'd bigger fish to fry, but she's still not wrong. I tried to sound chipper. Hey, Willie, how about I climb down and bake you a potato? Think you could handle that? Don't leave me. Well, I'm pretty sure Silk is in the vicinity. Feels like you'd be safer up here. No, can't be alone again. She begins to struggle against her restraints. I'll follow you. Okay. I settle her back down. Let me untie you. This is not ideal, but I can't risk her trying to climb down after me. She'd certainly fall to her death. I carefully remove the tarp strips and the blanket and store all of our stuff in the pack. I'm going to need you to hold on. Can you do that? She nods, but she puts her arms around my neck. They're as limp as boiled noodles. It will have to be over my shoulders. Better try the miner's carry, I tell her, tossing her pack to the ground. Oh, I need to blow my nose, I'm sorry. Don't listen. You said you wouldn't listen. Terrible boyfriend. Where were we? Better try the miner's carry, I tell her, tossing the pack to the ground. I gingerly hoist her up around my shoulders, getting a tight grip on her arms. Getting a tight grip on the arm that falls across my chest. The way we're taught to do if we have to haul the injured out of the mine after an accident. There was never much to her, but I doubt she can tip the scale at 60 pounds now. I inch our way down the tree, nearly falling twice as branches snap beneath my boots. When I reach the forest floor, I gently lay her on the pine needles. Giving her a chocolate ball to gnaw on, I fashion a nest for her out of the blanket. When I check her for fever, her forehead's as cool as marble. You cold? A little, she says. I note the purple to her lips. Well, a fire will warm you, and then we can bake your potato. A cursory examination of the local brush shows that this will prove a challenge. Last night's rain, while relatively brief, fell heavily, dampening all the available fuel. In a few hours the sun will have lent me a hand, but at the moment the dry fuel seems scarce. Now I'm going to have to forage for some that's been protected by thick, overhanging limbs of rock formations. What will I do with Welly? Carry her? That will be difficult if I'm collecting wood. Cross my fingers and hope that Silk is far off? Too risky. That means trying to hide her. Welly, I'm going to have to travel a bit for fuel. Don't leave me. It won't be for long and I won't go far. I'll make sure you're good and hidden. Don't. We need a fire. It's okay. Look at what I've got for you. I hang Maisley's blowgun around her neck. This was Maisley's. It's all loaded. All you have to do is take a deep breath, blow really hard in this end, and a poisonous dart comes flying out. She killed Panache this way. Saved my life. Maisley left us too, says Welly sadly. No, she got separated looking for Lulu. Couldn't get back to you. She'd want you to have this. She told me she thought you'd be a good victor. She did? Her eyes widen. What did she mean? A good victor? Great question. It means, I think, that you'd never stop being a newcomer. Welly tears up and then steels herself with determination. I can do that for the others, she says. Hide me. She reaches out her arms for me to carry her. Nearby I discover a tree almost hidden by cascading wild grapevines. Tucking Welly behind them and arranging the leafy curtain is the best I can do with the dual pressures of time and geography. She'll await my return, armed with a paring knife and a blowgun. Remember, I tell her, you've only got one dart to make it count. Now sit tight and I'll be back before you know I'm gone. I intend for this to be true, but as I search in a widening circle, I feel my confidence waning. The available wood would smoke like crazy, even if I could get it lit with my handful of candy wrappers, which is doubtful. The whole idea of baking a potato loses its appeal. Perhaps if I slice it while it's paper thin and it's raw, she'll be able to stomach it. What would really help, hello sponsors, would be a nice basket full of food. I mean, what are they saving for? Surely 2 or 3 of the last tributes in the arena have enough in their combined accounts for a cup of chicken back broth. I think Mags must read my mind because as I'm making a beeline back to my ally, a parachute practically brushes my nose as it floats to my boots. I squat down to tear it open and find an ornate picnic basket. A card of thick paper rests atop with the words, "Courtesy of the Capitol." What isn't? In the arena. Inside, nestled in a snowy linen napkin, I find a picture. A chill goes through me as I lift it to the sunlight. The white cylinder resting in the spiral staircase. The golden eagle perched on the lid. My thumb depresses its tail, flipping it open, revealing the cool, creamy milk. If this is not the picture from Plutarch's library, it's an exact replica. I stuff the card in my pocket and return the picture to the basket to conceal my trembling hands. What am I supposed to make of this new arrival? There are only two possibilities, as opposite as day and night. On the positive thinking side, this could be a genuine gift from Plutarch by way of Mags. A pint of sustenance, a draught of encouragement. It could mean, well done, Hamish. Though through the fog of propaganda, the card stacking, and the lies, I can see that you succeeded with your mission. You did your bit, and if the tank explosion failed to drown the brain entirely, which is not your fault, it threw everything into a tailspin. Take this milk to Willie, keep her alive, play out your hand as best you can. But on the flip side, maybe Mags has got nothing to do with this gift, and the evil message goes like this. Greetings from your president. You didn't think I saw your little stunt with the milk pitcher in the library, but you were wrong. Because I see everything. Your bombs, your plots, even your flint striker from your pretty little bird. And now you have a choice. Do you drink the milk? Give it to your sickly ally? Pour it on the ground? Because naturally you suspect it's laced with poison. What do you do, Hamish Abernathy? You must know that the eyes of Panem, and mine in particular, are watching your every move. Yes, everyone is watching. If I do not immediately take this milk back to Welly and attempt to save her, it will look as if I'm playing nice to her, but actually trying to kill her so I can be one step closer to District 12's second victor. However, I'm almost certain that it's poisonous and came from Snow. I don't believe Plutarch would be careless enough to link himself so publicly to me since I bombed the tank. Surely, many people, many game makers on the inside, are familiar with this symbol of the golden staircase that's so often displayed in the Havensby mansion. Matchy Matchy. Given that he was assigned to cover the District 12 tributes, it's probably against the rules for Plutarch to back us, like Proserpina said it was for her and Vitus. It's from Snow, this milky death. This fate that I've been trying to defy ever since I saw that perverse birthday cake on the train has come home to roost like a raven in the poem, forever perched above my chamber door. I am completely in Snow's power and his to manipulate, his puppet, his pawn, his plaything. It is his poster that I am painting, his propaganda, and I am trapped into doing his bidding in the Hunger Games, the best propaganda the Capitol has. My pa must be rolling in his grave. The Proud District's alliances, the newcomers, will never be allowed to win. Welly will die of poisoning or starvation, or career. Silka, the Capitol wannabe, will take the crown. And me, there's only one thing left for me to do, if I don't want to die as a traitor to the districts, as Welly's killer by neglect, or since I refuse to poison her, and Snow knows it. He has followed my every mood down to this final resolution and awaits my inevitable surrender. I must drink the milk. The time is now. Game over. I retrieve the picture, flip the lid, and examine the contents. Every cell in my body resists capitulating to this end. I'm wondering if I could pretend to trip and drop the picture, at least postponing the moment of Silka's victory, when the cannon fires. I freeze, mystified. Was this not the moment for the president to savour my defeat? What's going on? Who has interfered with his game plan? I hurl the picture aside, hearing it crack against a rock, and I take off for the grapevines. As promised, I'm not far. I'm hoping against hope that somehow Silka has met a mutty end. That would make everything so much simpler. Rounding the final clump of saplings, I freeze in horror at what awaits. Silka stands like a statue, her snot-green outfit splattered in bright red. In her right hand, her axe. Her left holds Welly's head, eyes still open, mouth agape. The only movement, the only sound, comes from the blood dripping onto the pine needles of the forest floor. Welly's body lies crumpled in a heap a few feet away. The shiny silver bicycle bell, the blowgun, the child-sized boots, the tiny knife in her bird claw, dove-coloured feathers, headless baby chick. I could live 10,000 years and never erase this memory from my sight. What did you do? I hiss. Silka makes an effort to focus on me. She holds up Willie's head defensively. She attacked me. Now I know it's the poison dart hanging harmlessly from Silka's blousey sleeve. Willie tried to protect herself. Upheld the newcomer honour. Probably barely had the air to get the dart free from the gun. I abandoned her as she feared I would. Blinded by my desire to paint my poster, I left the real treasure unattended. She has to go. You have to go, Silka continues. It's the only way I get back to my people. We all have people, I say. You think yours will ever be able to forget this? I know mine won't. Write me off, Sid. Disown me. Spit on when you hear my name. Failing at breaking the arena is nothing in the face of this. I'll tell you how it was when I get home, she says. Oh, you're not going home, Silka. I pull the axe from my belt. We're neither of us going home. I will kill her and Snow will kill me. These games will have no victor. The second quarter quell poster. It helps. The way she tosses Willie's head aside with no regard or compassion for her, even in death. Helps, too, to see a smear of chocolate high on her cheekbone, where she must have wiped the tears away last night during our one-sided truce. And finally, it helps when she says, I will be the one to honour the capital. Axe to axe, we go at it. I wish I could claim greater speed or strength, but we're fairly matched. Her training's superior, but I have an advantage she can never hope for. Those 31 allies are boasted of to the head game maker. I can feel every one of them at my back. Her first stroke comes straight down at my head, as if to cleave my body in 2 equal parts. I just manage to block it. My counter attack clips her leg, drawing blood. A flicker of surprise crosses her face. She didn't expect I could get through her defences. Well, I may not be trained, Miss Silka, but I bet I've spent more time wielding an axe than you have, and I've got the white liquor and clean laundry to prove it. My time chopping up the arena after Ampert's death didn't hurt either. This weapon feels right at home in my hands. Barbaric, brutal, bloody. There's no way to pretty up what follows. As we rain blows on each other, some begin to connect. Our axe lock heads. We grapple. She knees me so hard I see stars. I dodge an attack that buries her axe into a tree trunk, and as she struggles to free it, my blade bites into the flesh near her hip. A few moves later, she spins towards me, slices my thigh as our weapons entangle. I bash her in the face with the handle, knocking out a couple teeth, but eventually, Silka's training pays off. When she wields the axe over her head in an intricate looping pattern, I'm distracted. The blade comes down unexpectedly. Before I have time to recoil, she opens a gash across my gut. I gasp. She strikes again, knocking the axe from my grip. My hand finds the damage. It's bad. She's coming at me. I turn to flee, and she traps me in a headlock, cutting off my wind. Black flecks pepper the edges of my vision. I can feel myself disappearing when my eyes land on Willie's decapitated body. I cannot let Silka win. In a last-ditch effort, I yank my knife from my belt and drive it back into her shoulder. A shriek, neck released. I take to my heels, oblivious of whatever harm I've done to her. Both hands pressed against my wound, I zigzag through the woods, knowing I have to make a stand, certain that this is impossible, crazed with fear and pain. Branches whip my face, roots catch my boots, and I ricochet from one tree to the next. My one goal is to increase the space between Silka's screams and my being, but she is coming. My legs are beginning to buckle when the smell of burnt insects alerts me, and I find myself at the opening to the holly hedge. Ladybug, ladybug, here I am again. But now their home offers both refuge and a chance to regroup. Perhaps that capital-loving, rule-abiding, snot-green-wearing career, fuck's sake, will be afraid to follow me beyond the established boundaries of the arena. As the hot air rousing in the canyon washes over me, I stagger up to the cliff's edge. Unable to run any further, I turn to face my opponent. Boundary or no, Silka stumbles out of the hedge after me. Now I can assess the damage my knife did. Own the empty socket where I gouged out her eyeball. Seems minor compared to keeping my innards contained. Without hesitation, she raises the axe and lets it fly. My knees, already on the verge of giving way, fold like wet cardboard, and I collapse to the dirt as the axe whistles over my head into the canyon. That's when I remember the force field, and whatever happens to dropped objects. I watch, breathless, for what the love of my life would call poetic justice. Silka stands there, her hands against her gushing eye socket. Her good eye squints at my gut, estimating the arrival time of my death. And then there's the return of the whistle. The moment of confusion as the spinning axe catches the sunlight, and the dull, sickening sound as it lodges in her head. Now we're both on the ground. I roll on my back, watching the hovercraft that floats above us. Silk is refusing to die. Strangled gurgle seeps from her lips. I just have to wait her out. My hand fumbles in my pocket, searching for a handkerchief to help stem my bleeding. But instead, I unearth the relics of my last, or second to last, I don't even know which plan. The tools I needed to blow a hole in the cornucopia. Well, obviously that's out. Dying outside the arena will have to be sufficient, although it seems an awful shame not to try for one more poster. Perhaps there's still a chance to go out with a bang. Yes, it all becomes clear now. I know what it is I have to do. It's okay, Pa. It's okay, Ma. Lift up your head, Sid. No one but me will paint this poster. I can feel consciousness threatening to slip away as I free the sunflower from my neck and place the blasting cap in it. I bite off the fuse with my teeth, leaving a few inches, toss the remainder aside. This time it works, Ampert. Loose cannon going off, Luella. Wyatt, Lulu, Willie. I pinky swear mazily. Pay attention, Panem. Newcomers land on top. The president's card, courtesy of the Capitol, tears easily. I crumble the pieces and pile them with the candy wrappers. Finally, I pull the flint striker over my head and give it one long kiss. Oh, Lenore Dove, oh love of my life, I am with you before, now and always. I will find you. I will find you. Haymitch Abernathy, you are to stop all activity immediately. The cord settles in a shaky hand. The other closes over the head of the snake, the songbird. Such fine workmanship. Pretty with a purpose, she said. It's found its true purpose now. A cannon fires. No victor's crown for you, Silka, just the claw. Listen, those trumpets must be for me. A spray of sparks flies and piles the blossom in the little flame. A spray of bullets dance around my hands. Ha, miss me. Freeze, Haymitch Abernathy. You have been... Drop that now. The flame's already dying as I hold out the bomb. It kisses the tip of the short fuse, then hungrily begins to eat up at the black cord. You don't know what you're doing. Stop, don't throw it. But I do. With my last ounce of strength, I launch the sunflower into the canyon. If nothing else, there should be an impressive boom, but the game maker's panicked voice has allowed me to hope for more. What will happen when the explosion meets the force field? I've absolutely no idea. Only they seem to fear it. The quartz slips to the ground, blending into the other rocks. I slide the flint striker under my collar where it can rest on my heart. She'll understand. The wind scatters the last bits of ash, carrying them into oblivion. Black specks flood my eyes, forming a cloud that blocks the sunlight. A blast rocks the world. My last sensations are of the slippery coils of my intestines in one hand, the songbird pressing against my skin, and the earth quaking beneath me. I die happy.